back to the news at 10. The Lagos State government says the last 100 days have been characterized by the introduction of life-defining policies, legislations and the delivery of projects in its efforts to make Lagos greater. At a special event marking 2,800 days in office, Governor Babatunde Fashola revealed that his administration has achieved enviable results in key sectors including power, healthcare and security. Our correspondent Kelvin Obeton has more on this.
It is the traditional 100 days account of his stewardship, the 28th since the inception of his administration, an avenue to rail out achievements in every sector in a 100-day interval. Prominent persons, civil servants, representatives of groups and residents gather to hear how government has utilized the power given to it to manage their resources. The APC governorship candidate, Mr. Akinwumi Ambode, and his running mate are also present to witness the event.
Our budget has impacted healthcare. It has impacted access to justice.
From the governor's account, it is obvious that every sector has received attention, especially healthcare, security, and power.
We have handed over the solar power system in Ekpe Primary Healthcare Center. We did this on the 6th of January this year. And we have handed over 2 solar power systems for the Model College in Meron in Alimosho. Gradually, one by one, by God, and by the dedication of our workers and the faith of taxpayers, we will put the shame of darkness that a failed government and the umbrella party has imposed on our children in schools and on patients in hospitals behind us.
Residents sought to get clarification as they ask pertinent questions for clarity. One of them is the delay in the completion of the light rail project.
National governments always support their state governments. But Lagos and Rivers State are the only states in Nigeria today building intracity rail systems, and there is no federal government support. So part of the problem we are having is also how to power the grid, because we want clean fuel. We don't want trains that will pollute. And we have found the answers. Everything is done and ready. The only problem we have had is time.
As he steps down, it is obvious that one thing he's asking of the people is to support continuity by exercising their civic rights and vote candidates of the party at the state and at all levels. Kelvin Obetin, Channels Television News.
Turning to health now, over 10 persons have died following an outbreak of cholera in Inoma community in Anambra West, local government area of Anambra State. According to nurses attending to the emergency situation at Inoma Community Primary Health Center, poor manpower has been a major challenge in containing the situation as they manage over 40 patients at the same time. The State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Joe Akabuike, has however assured of posting more nurses and doctors to the affected community, in addition to immediate construction of a borehole to meet water needs of the people. The Niger Delta Development Commission, the NDDC, has restated its resolve to boosting agricultural production as a reliable economic base for the country. The NDDC Managing Director, Mr. Bassi Dan Abia, said this while addressing trainees drawn from the 9 states of the Niger Delta region at the flag-off of a 2-week entrepreneurial training for farmers at the Vika Farms in Uyo, the Akwa Ibom state capital. He said the federal government did not wait for the change in crude oil fortunes before coming up with various agricultural programs, which had set the stage for Nigerians to go back to the farms.
Before declaring the training sessions open, the Managing Director of NDDC once again inspects the Vika Farm, the venue where participants would get hands-on experience. It consists of the palm oil mechanized processing plant, the poultry, and other plantations. That done, Mr. Dan Abia tells the participants in the meeting hall that the Commission is partnering with the International Fund for Agricultural Development, IFAD, to integrate rural dwellers, especially the youth, into agricultural entrepreneurship in the Niger Delta region.
I think the text we must do today is that we should go back to the land, go back to the farm. We have to resuscitate our farms. Not just farming for subsistence. Agri is business, rather than sit down and be crying over the
The Commissioner for Agriculture enlightens the participants about the peculiar agricultural strategy in the state, while the country director of IFAD expresses her delight at the cooperation which she sees and the constitution of the student body.
When you look around the private state, you will not see mass income of land being planted with cassava or oranges or what have you. In here, because of the limited farmland that we have, and taking a full advantage of the richness of our soil, we decided to go into what we call integrated farming.
The leadership of His Excellency the Governor here has promoted agriculture as a business, and every time we came to talk to their team, they would always say, we are promoting agriculture as a business. So today here, the participants here are business people. Of women.
According to Ms. Toda, the NDDC has contributed $15.5 million to their collaboration, all of which has been released, and the program is promoting more than 3,500 women and youth agri-enterprises.
First Bank.
Welcome to Business News. Nigeria's central bank says it will continue to defend the country's exchange rate and external reserves to keep the purchasing power of Nigerians positive. The Apex Bank reiterated this policy stance during a meeting with the Lagos business community. Central Bank Governor Godwin Emefiele also told investors that foreign exchange purchases will henceforth be limited to legitimate demands. Our correspondent Tempola Shaju reports.
Captains of industry, investors and financial market operators are the key figures at this meeting where the depression of the Naira is being discussed. And to calm the nerves of the businessmen and women is the central bank governor, Dr. Godwin Emefiele, who explains to them that stability is inevitable after any financial crisis.
As crude oil price rises, external results will naturally rise. That exchange rates naturally will appreciate if as external results also increase.
The CBN governor emphasized that the solution to the economic downswing is the stimulation of the domestic markets.
The only thing that can help us to reduce the demand pressure on our domestic currency is that we need to begin to see ourselves importing those things that producing some of those things we are importing into this country today.
Suggestions were raised from the audience on the best approach to strengthening the foreign exchange. But the CBN says it can only continue to defend the Naira.
For as long as you remain a heavily import-dependent economy, where you must support the lives of young people, you cannot allow price to just spiral and say leave it to the forces of demand and supply.
I think what the central bank is doing right now is to have a moderate defensive policy for the Naira, while we substitute those things that we used to import with local production.
The message today is very clear that the central bank has all that it takes to defend the Naira within a reasonable limit. And I think we all go back to our various offices today, going back to business as usual.
The important thing, I repeat, is that anybody who needs foreign exchange for legitimate purposes will get their foreign exchange. Even where the interbank is unable to fill all the orders that we have in the market, the central bank will from time to time step in and will provide the foreign exchange that is needed to meet everybody's legitimate demand.
In spite of these concerns, Nigeria remains the most watched frontier market globally, with its economic realities described as opportunities for growth. Temple Ashaju, Channels Television News.
The Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, AMCON, has concluded the sale of Enterprise and Mainstreet banks. Heritage and Sky Banks are now the new owners of the two lenders in the deal which was concluded in Lagos today. It comes more than a year after AMCON took over the running of the banks, which it now pronounces as stable. Our correspondent, Inni Thompson, reports.
This is the closure ceremony for the sale of Enterprise and Mainstreet banks. It finalizes a decision taken by the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, AMCON, in 2013 to divest its shareholding in both banks after it took over the running of the banks in 2011 following unfavorable assessment reports.
Most of the banks, like you all, some of you probably know, we're already having problems in their balance sheets. They have granted loans that have become very toxic in their balance sheet, arising purely from the global financial crisis of 2008-2009 and the effect of that. And we all know what happened at that time. Prices of crude came down, and we had to also do a depreciation in our currency that took it from about 100 to about 155.
Today, AMCON present the banks in better shape.
The banks, both Enterprise and Mainstreet, returned to profitability very quickly, and it was based on the work that the management and the board did of those two banks that were able to be here today.
These commendations come after the AMCON-appointed management had cleaned up the books of the banks, reduced operating expenses, and recapitalized the banks to the acceptable capital adequacy ratio, making it attractive for buyers. Heritage Bank acquires Enterprise, while Sky Bank acquires Mainstreet. This is sealed with the presentation of commendation and awards by AMCON to the management of the four banks. Moving forward, it's a win-win situation for Sky Bank.
Mainstreet has been a consistent winner of CBN price in agri financing, and that is a major focus. We can't do without agri financing in this country. So we'll be inheriting a good expertise in agri financing, in consumer financing, and these are things that this country needs at this moment.
As well as for the employment market.
Everybody is on board. We have not asked anybody to go. We will only be doing some strategic fits for people, and those that don't fit in the role they are currently running may have to be deployed to other roles.
Customers of Enterprise and Mainstreet banks are assured of continued services through Heritage and Sky Banks. Inni Thompson reporting Vision News.
Well, market activities picked up on Tuesday, with the all-share index of the Nigerian stock market gaining 0.27%. Bolaji Akinwale has more on that.
Thanks for staying with us for the stock market report. Investors heaved a sigh of relief on Tuesday after the equities market recorded some gains. The benchmark index edged up by 0.27% to close at 29,859.06. Stocks from the agriculture and consumer goods sectors of the market topped the advances list. Presco added 1 naira 55 kobo to its share price. It came ahead of Okomo Oil and PZ, which chopped up with 1 naira 32 kobo and 1 naira 25 kobo. On the laggers list, food giant Nestle led with 5 naira 15 kobo. It was followed by MRS and 40 Oil with 2 naira 66 kobo and 2 naira each. On the volume chart, bank stocks made headlines. Fidelity Bank pulled 156.2 million shares. Access Bank and Diamond Bank followed. In all, more than 4.6 billion naira was exchanged for 468.1 million shares in 4,346 deals. And that's it on the stock market reports. I am Bolaji Akinwale.
Thank you, Bolaji. That's it on Business News. On the news at 10, we'll leave you with those global markets before Marachi returns with the rest of the news.
First Bank.
The Anambra State government is opening up opportunity to wealth creation, food security, and increased gross domestic product. The state governor, Willie Obiano, in an investment partnership with the Royal Kingdom of Thailand, has declared open a 4-day Thailand Investment Summit in Awka, the Anambra State capital.
The delegation from Thailand, led by the Nigerian ambassador to Thailand, Mr. Chudi Okafor, alongside the Thailand ambassador to Nigeria, Mr. Charlie Limsombun, ushered into the governor's lodge at Amobia. Immediately, the delegation enters into a meeting with the state governor, Willie Obiano. The meeting focuses on the challenges of unemployment and the solution through the state's natural resources. After the meeting, they all moved to the choice location for the investment summit in Awka, where Governor Willie Obiano declared a 4-day investment summit open. The Nigerian ambassador to Thailand gives a speech.
As the outcome of this visit, we go a long way to strengthen and broaden the basis of our bilateral cordial relationship with the beautiful country of Thailand.
Thai ambassador to Nigeria says both countries have exchanged over $1 billion annually in international trade, with Nigeria benefiting more.
The diplomatic relation between Thailand and Nigeria has established in 1962. So until today is more than 55 years. Our good and cordial relation has developed very well bilaterally and multilaterally.
Governor Willie Obiano's concern in this partnership borders on tackling unemployment.
Thailand is the second largest economy in Southeast Asia and a high income economy. But the most interesting thing about them is that they have zero unemployment. So everybody there has something to do.
The partnership deal is signed and sealed, awaiting the results in the shortest time.
Still ahead on the news at 10, world number 3 Rafael Nadal becomes the latest high-profile casualty at the Australian Open. Now, in sports news, please join us again.